the topics that they're going to give you are mostly based on everyday situations. Okay, they give passages at times in relation to Canadian context, Canadian region, Canadian environment. While they give you situations in terms of listening or in terms of your writing, is mostly on everyday situations like how you communicate with your co-workers or with your neighbors, those kinds of situations. And even it is like how you get into a store and you ask some questions and queries, those kinds of extracts you're going to hear in terms of the listening part. So a few of the extracts in your listening, reading, writing, and in speaking are on everyday format, everyday basis, while a few of them are on little subjective matter, like academic context they might give you, okay? Because they want to test your language proficiency, so they'll keep something which is simple, easier, and something which is slightly more difficult, not unachievable, but slightly more difficult and complex, so that they can evaluate your score in a better way. So the test opens up with the, it's a 3-hour long test, and there is no breaks in between. It's a continuous process from listening to reading to writing and speaking. There is no breaks, and you're never allowed to go back any point in time. You're only allowed to go forward. So even if you miss out some questions in earlier parts, you cannot go back to them, right? So,
one quick question. So I cannot mark a question and review it later?
No, you have to do it within that time, which is given to you for that particular part.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Right. So in listening, there will be 6 parts. It opens up with a practice task, which is unscored. It's just to give you a glimpse about what the listening format is. And they open up with part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, and part 6. The level of difficulty increases as you move from part 1 to part 6. In part 1, the audios are simple and everyday context based. It can be related to workplace situations between 2 colleagues or between a manager and a subordinate. It can be a conversation between 2 friends. Okay, those kinds of conversations you're going to hear. And you have to hear the audio here. Unlike in IELTS, where you get the questions beforehand and then you can listen to the audio and you get some time to read the questions, here it is not that pattern. Entire listening, you will have to listen to the audio first, only then the questions are given to you. Some questions are also given audio based, some questions are displayed on your screen. For each part, there's a fixed time given to you to solve the questions, and you'll have to do it within that time. Apart from that, if you can't do it, you can't do it. You can't go back and do it again. So if you have to do it within that fixed time, the discrete timings are there. If you miss it out, you miss it out, actually. Okay, so some are here. It's also something, audio, video information is also given, where you can see the people talking to each other, and then you'll have to make out what they're saying, what is the context, what are the ideas they are brainstorming, and all those things. So it's a little interesting, I would say, and it has its own challenges. But with practice and with slightly more awareness of how English is spoken internationally and not in your native country, might help you to get familiarized with these kinds of audios and information that you get in the listening part, right? Any questions on listening? Okay, so after listening comes the reading segment, where there's only 4 parts to it. And again, it starts with a practice task, which is unscored. In this 4 parts, the passages also are different. And generally part 1 and part 2 is slightly simpler. It's mostly a kind of a letter they give you, which can be a formal, semi-formal, informal, any kind of letter. And in part 1, the letter is the main passage on which the questions are based. But in part 2, there's a diagram given to you, a diagram in a form of an advertisement or in a form of a timetable or something like that. They give you a picture, not a statistical diagram or a non-statistical diagram. They give you a proper picture, and the picture is related to the given questions for part 2. In part 3 and part 4, you're going to listen to academic context, especially in part 3, because they give you some geographical information or historical information about Canada, or about some species in Canada, or about some lifestyle pattern in Canada they might give you. So this is a little bit subjective based. Part 4 is where they give you some kind of a topic, which can be a serious topic. It can be related to environmental degradation and how it can be protected, or it can be related to, for example, the cost of the cost of, the standard of living in Canada, how it is increasing, and what are the different difficulties there, any governmental policies they might take up, and what are the views regarding that same. Okay, if the government has taken up this kind of a policy, what are the views on that? So it's a reading for viewpoints where different people will have different views to give it. Some will be favoring the topic, some will be against, and you have to really interpret it, infer it, deduce it logically, only then you can make your answers. So as you level up from part 1 to part 4, yes, it's slightly difficult in vocabulary, difficult in understanding, but yes, with practice and if you are having a habit of reading and you read often, you won't have trouble in part 4 in reading section as well. Okay, in part 4 and reading section as well, right? So again, each part has its own discrete timings, and you have to complete that within that time. Overall, the number of questions in your reading and in listening are 38. Okay, and you have to get minimum a 9 band in both the modules. All the modules are tested on a band of 12. I think all of you, most of you know it. You have to get 9 for each of them. Okay, so that is the score requirement that you need. Coming to writing, in writing, there will be 2 parts only. One is letter writing. Writing an email is a kind of a letter writing. And those who have given general IELTS, they have an awareness of that. So they give you a topic, they give you a background situation, and they tell you whom to write, and they give you cues on which you have to put down your letter. Very similar to the writing of IELTS, not much different, the same type of format they give you. They give you a background situation, they give you context. But again, the context is again based on general and everyday life situations. Okay, not that very indifferent type, or very, I would not say indifferent, but not very uncommon topics they're going to give you, right? And responding to survey question is, again, they're going to give you a topic on the basis of which a survey was conducted. It can be at your office, at your locality, in the society, by the government, by the local council, and they came out with 2 outcomes. Okay, and you have to choose any one of them, why you support that and why not the other. It's a kind of an opinion-based essay, I would say, where you have to choose an opinion over the other and choose an option over the other and explain why are you selecting or shortlisting that. Okay, with explanation, with reasons, with your ideas and with examples, you can be able to elaborate on the topic. You don't have to write much here, unlike in IELTS. Here, the minimum word count is about 150 and maximum is 200 to 220. Okay, in both the sections, in task 1 and task 2, the word count is not huge. Am I clear? Any questions for writing?
What is a minimum word count? Like, would we be penalized?
Minimum is 150, maximum is 200 to 220 words.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So in speaking segment, yes, we have 8 different tasks, and this also starts with the practice task, which is unscored. It's just to make yourself comfortable with the mic, because everything is recorded on the computer. Your writing is also being submitted in the computer, and speaking is also, you're recording your voice over the computer. So to check whether your mic is clear and you are able to comfort with the entire setup. And then they start with the first task. There are 8 different tasks in speaking to check your communication skills, to check your fluency level, and how well you can elaborate an idea with some multiple reasons, examples, whether you can explain a thought clearly, whether you've understood the topic that is given to you. Can you share some examples? It can be a fictitious example, it can be a real life example, but you need to elaborate an idea with examples. The topics given are sometimes very simple ones, which you generally talk to your friend or talk to your cousin or your nephew, or it can be your uncle, aunt. A very simple topics they give you in a task 1. Task 2 is a little descriptive, where you describe an experience that you had, and I will talk about that in a few minutes. And then there are pictorial based also. They give you pictures and you describe that picture in your own words. What you see in the picture, what you feel about the picture, you have to share that. Each task has a fixed time to preparation and a fixed time to speak. You are not allowed to speak more than the given time. So preparation time is always a challenge, because you have very short time. You have to come up with your ideas. Thinking process has to be slightly faster, so that given the topic, you can able to come up with at least 2 to 3 ideas before you can start speaking. Okay. Your entire speaking segment is being recorded, which is then evaluated by a human examiner. In writing section is also the same. Writing and speaking is human evaluated, while your listening and reading is computer evaluated. Okay, so these two parts would be evaluated by the human examiner. So I'm moving on to the speaking segment now. Any questions if you have, you can let me know.
You just mentioned that speaking and writing will be evaluated by
Human
human
examiners.
intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Then how it is called as computer evaluated in that terms?
Computer evaluated is not computer test. It's a computer-based test, but not computer evaluation. Computer evaluation is only for listening and reading. Your writing will be taken up by the CELPIP certified examiner, and they're going to check the words and everything. There's a spell check option to help you to correct some spellings, but your grammatical aspect, your sentence construction, and your logical flow of your information will be checked by human examiners. Even that goes for speaking. So they'll hear your recording and evaluate you on how much bands you follow. Okay, so it is not, it's not a PTE exam, which is completely computer tested. Did you get me?
Oh, okay.
So those two parts are human evaluations. Right. So we'll start with the speaking segment. In speaking, the test is around 15 to 20 minutes. You can understand there's only a very short time in speaking, but there are 8 different tasks which you have to complete. So the first task is the practice task, which is about 30 seconds they give you to prepare. They give you a very simple topic and you have to speak for around 1 minute. And this is just to make sure that you're comfortable with the microphone, your placing of mic is okay, and you're able to record your voice over the computer, because you will see once your recording starts, there is always a, this is a horizontal bar which will be visible, and this bar gets captured as you're listening, as you're recording, it will move from your right to left. Okay, it will show that. Yeah, so that tells you that your voice is getting recorded over the computer. So that part, to get it familiar with that, they give you this practice task. And then the task 1 gets started with giving advice. The first task is giving advice, where you will have to give advice to someone who is seeking some kind of a suggestion or some kind of a help. And it can be, again, a close family member. It can be somebody from your relatives or your extended family members, or it can be from friends, colleagues at workplace as well. You have to give advice on the given topic that is given to you. The preparation time here is just 30 seconds. So you have to quickly come up with ideas and put them down. Given a notepad in the exam, which is for your help. It's good. It is used for listening, for writing, because in writing you will have to create a draft plan before you start writing. So here also in speaking, you can take down those key points and put it down on the paper. And then you have to speak for 1.5 minutes. Okay, to speak for 1.5 minutes on the task 1, that is giving an advice. Am I clear? The next part is about task 2, talking about a personal experience. So they give you a situation which you had been through, which you had faced, and you will have to explain that in your own words. They give you some cues. It is like a very similar to your cue card topic of IELTS. They give you a situation, but its only thing is that you have already faced that experience. You've already been through that experience and you're sharing it. It can be an adventurous sport. It can be having a dream that came true. So that kind of experience, how you felt about it, what was the dream. So they give you some cues and they give you the topic as well, for which you get 30 seconds to prepare, and again speaking for 1 minute. So here to speak for 1 minute. Okay, you can see your timer on the screen. The timer is also visible, and as the timer gets closed up, you should try to wind up your topic. Okay, try not to just abruptly end the topic. It's always good to have a conclusion to your topic. Yes, as you see the timer moving up to close to 60 seconds, you can just wind up your topic in that sense.
What if we are unable to explain, because see, these are all arbitrary coming from computer, right? So we do not know the situation. It is all of a sudden we have to prepare and speak about it. True. So it would be literally difficult to wind up a topic within 60 seconds. So what if we cannot and the flow continues?
What if it cannot? It cannot means that then it's a completeness is wrong. I mean, that means you're not able to complete the topic. That will affect your score to a certain extent. Because the more you practice with these kinds, the more you practice with timer at home, and you take up different topics, which will be given by us also, and we'll give you multiple worksheets to work on with. And as you get that familiarity, okay, I have to speak for 1 minute, and you that consciousness of the timer in front of you, and you record yourself over a computer or over the mobile phone or whatever device you use, and you should see, okay, this is coming up, and now come up to the conclusion. So even if you could not explain 3 ideas, with 2 ideas what to explain, and then draw a conclusion sentence, it was fantastic. It was a great feeling, because at the end of any personal experience, we would talk about our feelings. So that should always be put forward in the last 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and that will give a conclusion to your topic. Okay, so any personal experience that you had been through, how you felt about it? Was it what is disappointing? Was it degrading your energy, or was it really a great, a fantastic, an amazing experience that you had? So that feelings, if you can put up in the last few minutes, that's the conclusion that you can draw it.
Yeah, that's what my question is. Like, if we have only 1 minute, so in that 1 minute, how we can put forward all these things? That's something difficult. Maybe probably we will be trained on that.
Yeah. Yes, you will be, and you will be practicing. You have to practice. There's no other end. See, when you are practicing at your home for cue card topic in IELTS, what did you practice at home for cue card, or you just went on, you know, with your, in your speech, in your speaking segment for your IELTS cue card topic?
No, we do practice, but actually they stop in between, or like we have planned like within like 2 minutes or 3 minutes to speak, but here everything is showing as 60 seconds.
No, 2 is the maximum. They won't give you 3 minutes in IELTS to speak. 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, they will say, okay, because I understood the topic, you're explaining it fine. But generally close to 2 minutes, they will stop you. Here also, if you are conscious, when you practice at home with a 1 minute timer, you get conscious, okay, the brain gets trained that this is 1 minute coming up. You can see the timer. Even on the screen, it will be visible for you. So you will be able to, with practice, it will become more effective that, yes, this 1 minute time, I have to now wind up. Quickly, you have to wind up the topic. Okay, so whether you are not explaining the third idea, already you thought about it, but you couldn't manage to do it in time, give that last concluding sentence. At least you have to conclude your topic. Then the task fulfillment gets done. Otherwise, it remains open. And that again affects your score. So instead of getting a 9, which you were supposed to get, you will get 8. That's the difference.
Okay.
Next is describing a scene. This is pictorial based. They give you a scene of maybe any, not a very uncommon scene, but a scene maybe at a marketplace, a scene at a tourist location, a scene at a bus stop, and to explain that scene in your own words, what you see in the picture. Okay, that's also 30 seconds preparation. You have to see the picture in a 30 seconds, understand what all things you can speak, think of little of a language if you can. Possibly if you are a very impromptu speaker, then you can able to manage the language, but otherwise think on the vocabulary and see what you can use when describing a scene. And then for 1 minute, you will get time to speak. Okay. For a few of them, we will be sharing templates. You can fall back on that. I can help you. I can give you some kind of a guidance of how to go about with the topic. And it definitely will make you more effective.
One question on the task 3. Will the picture be still, will it still be visible while we speak?
Yes, while you are recording, it will still be visible.
Okay, so that can be used. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That will be given. And task 4 is very similar, is related to task 3 only. You have to make predictions. That means whatever you've seen in task 3, on the same picture, you have to predict what can happen next. What can happen in few minutes? What can happen in the next few hours? Okay, and to explain that in your own words. So it's kind of an imagination. You have to imagine what will happen to this picture. Okay, for example, if it's a bus stop, you will feel that people will board the bus. Or some people will think it is not their bus, so they will keep back. And whatever your imaginations come up with on that given picture, you have to think and explain for about, again, the same time, 60 seconds, you have to make predictions. So it might happen, it may happen, it could be. So you have to use those kind of doubt indicators to explain your predictions. Next we have is comparing and persuading, task 5. I'm just giving you a glimpse. We'll discuss in details in this week. Compare and persuading is, it's again a picture based. What they give you here is they give you 2 pictures in the first part, for which you get 1 minute to make a choice. So they give you maybe a car, okay? They give you maybe a car of, say, give you an SUV and a Honda City. So you have to make a choice which one you would like to go for, which one you would like to prefer. Okay, in the next 60 seconds, after the first 60 seconds gets over, in the next 60 seconds, whichever you have. So in this 60 seconds, you have to make the choice. Okay. So they give you 2 pictures. I hope it is clear to all of you. Pallavi and Sunil, if you have any doubts, please ask as well. So they give you here one SUV and one Honda City, for example. You choose SUV over Honda City in the first 60 seconds. In the next 60 seconds, this picture will change, and here you will get something extra, something, for example, you get Mercedes here, and you get SUV. Okay, so your choice will be there, but the one you didn't choose will get altered, and it will come up with a different picture. So between the two, you chose an SUV over a Honda City before. So your choice will remain, but the picture next to it will get changed. Now you will have to persuade somebody why you are choosing this over this. What are the reasons for choosing SUV over Mercedes? Okay, so what are the benefits of it? So the features will be given to you. Certain characteristics of both the pictures will be given to you. On that basis, you have to persuade somebody in the next 60 seconds to tell why you're choosing this over other. So it's altogether 3 minutes task in part 5. You're able to give you a glimpse of it?
I have a question here. See, for example, like I understood what is asked here. For example, in case like I like Mercedes now. So in case initially if it was what I'm trying to say is initially if it was given Mercedes and SUV, I would have selected Mercedes only.
Right.
Then again, if it is giving Honda Civic, Honda whatever the other one,
Honda City. Okay.
So Honda City, then what is actually here the requirement? See, I know that Mercedes has a lot of features. Here the message is first is Honda City and SUV they have given. We have selected SUV, and later on they are giving Mercedes to compare why SUV is better. My message here is if they have given Mercedes initially, I would have selected Mercedes only.
Correct.
Now they are giving Mercedes again later, which they are saying me to compare my opinion, which they are trying. Is they trying to make my opinion right or wrong, or they are trying to compare?
No, nothing. See, they might not give you Mercedes. It's a fictitious example I'm telling you. They might give you a little bit less flat and a car which is less Maruti, maybe Maruti 800 for that matter. Okay, they might give you that. Of course, an SUV becomes a stronger choice from your end. So it is not about whether they give you better or whether they give you worse. It's all about how you can explain somebody with the choice that you made previously, how it stands tall in comparison to whatever you get in the next picture. Okay, you have to explain the person, whether it's your family friend, whether it's your husband, whether it's a wife or whether it's anybody in your family. You have to explain why you're choosing this over the other. What are the reasons? What are the benefits? So there will be some negatives also, characteristics given, which in compared to SUV, this is becoming low. So those areas you will have to pinpoint so that you can explain. Now, it's not about what they're trying to see is that how you're using these characteristics, how you're using these points in explaining, and what kind of sentences you're generating to support your viewpoint, support your picture, support your selection for that matter. Yeah, that's what they are going to choose. That's what I want to see. So whether if you are unable to explain, that's where you're going to lose your point. But they're not going to see that why you have chosen SUV over this. That's not the judgment that they're going to make. It's a language test. So they're going to see what kind of sentences you're making with the given pointers that are there and how you are making somebody convinced that how your choice is better than the given one. Are you able to understand you, Sunil?
Yeah, actually, like initially if they give like, do you like a flat or apartment? Somebody will be selecting flat. Again, once you select flat, they may give
saying that. What's the difference between flat and apartment then?
So, like apartment is like all people will stay to like independent house and again flat.
That's right.
Yeah. So
which one you want to go for? You want to go for independent house, apartment. The next picture you get maybe what can I say? They give you a villa, and suppose you select apartment beforehand. So now villa and apartment you will have to compare. So why? Those ideas, what are there in the villa? You have to see whether it is. You cannot change your choice, of course, but how your apartment is better than a villa because it's spacious. It will take time for cleaning and making things more better, although it is luxurious, but it is unaffordable for many of us. So this we have to come up with your idea being stronger over the other. Yeah, so that's the way you will have to persuade somebody. Are you getting me?
Okay, ma'am.
I got a quick question. Will they also say you have to describe this to a family member
correct.
Someone in a higher authority? For example,
No,
the choice of words will change when I'm talking to a friend.
It will be, yeah. Maybe to a boss, to your guest, give you the kind of context.
Yeah, so they'll give that context, right? Okay, thank you.
Right. So task 6 is dealing with a difficult situation. Here, the situation is not that difficult. It's not like a very, problematic situation, but a problem which you might face in a general, day-to-day life, actually, a problem between friends, a problem between colleagues. Two colleagues may be having a dispute between each other and you have to sort things out. It can be a customer and a customer who wants to make some changes to his to the things that he purchased and how you can help that. So dealing with difficult situation is again based on general life situations. It's not a very problematic or serious problems they're going to discuss about. Very simple problems that we face at our workplace. So they give you two options here. Either this you can do or that you can. Solutions also are given to you. They give you the problem and they give you two solutions, either this or that. So you have to just pick up one and explain how it is going to helpful in sorting things out, in solving the given situation. That's it. Okay, so they give you the solutions and you pick up only one of them and explain how it's going to solve the problem. Of course, when you pick up that, you have to explain it with reasons and with supporting examples wherever needed. Yeah. In the task 7, it is expressing opinions, and here you will have to give your viewpoints. Okay, and here the topic is a serious topic they give you, where you have to either agree to the given topic or you disagree. Whichever side you're going to go, you have to explain that and why you're supporting that side, what are the reasons behind it, and why aren't you supporting the other view. Okay, so it's kind of an agree-disagree essay that we usually write in IELTS. Very close to that, this is expressing an opinions. So to give you a topic, for example, plastics should be banned in Canada. Okay, how far do you agree with the given point of view? So if you agree with it, you will explain the reasons, but how plastics can be harmful. It can be creating environmental pollution, and it's going to affect the survival of the species like fishes and animals and other such kind of creatures. And if you do not support it, you'll always say having plastics saves money. It will be less expensive compared to maybe jute bags or anything else, the other form of it. So whichever side you support, you have to explain that with reasons. And you can also speak, because you speak for about 90 seconds here. So you can also share about if I supported the other side, what are the drawbacks of it? What are the negatives of it? Okay. So people who support using plastic bags just for saving a bits of money, it's actually not thinking about the whole environment or the mother nature, which is getting degraded each and every day due to the use of plastics. Okay, so you have to explain how it can be harmful, seriously affecting the survival of any living organisms on the earth in that sense. Okay, so you have to explain that. You have to speak about 90 seconds, completely supporting your viewpoint and making your views always stronger over the other. Okay, so that's the point you have to put forward in task 7. You get 30 seconds only for preparation. That's a challenge. Less time, but more to speak.
One question on this. Sometimes, like you might run out of points, right? So in that sense, say you have only 30 seconds to prepare. In that situation, is it okay to go neutral, like speak on both ends, like speak for agree and disagree as well, instead of just picking one side?
Even if you say a positive point for the other view, you must come back to your own original point of view.
Okay, so I should always either disagree or agree.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Got it. Okay.
So even if you say, I also think that plastics can be useful for example during the events and occasions, because you can just simply dispose it off, but it has a serious detrimental effect on the environment. Okay, so you have to come back again to your point.
Got it. Okay, understood.
And whenever you run out of ideas, always come up with examples. That's the best thing to do. Give some examples, fictitious, cook up stories, and try to elaborate your idea through an example. And that helps the listener also to understand what view you have, what are the idea, what you wanted to say.
Okay. Got it.
So it's always better to have some examples. Task 8 is describing an unusual situation where they give you a very different picture and which you are not very familiar with, very uncommon. That's the word given, unusual. So you will have to describe that picture as you see, as you understand, in about 30 seconds, and then prepare for that. And 60 seconds you will have to speak. So you might see some different and very uncommon picture. It is not very familiar. Okay, it's very rare that you get a familiar picture in task 8. It's always they're going to give you unusual situations. Maybe something is happening at an event or a show which is very uncommon. Okay, and that's where they see how you explain it, and that's a little challenging because your mind have to get familiar with the picture and you have less time to prepare. So getting familiar with the picture will take you about 10 to 15 seconds. The next 15 seconds you have to come up with ideas, and then you have to speak for 60 seconds. So task 7 and 8 is slightly challenging than compared to the rest of it. Okay, so you will be evaluated on the 4 parameters, which is these ones: content coherence, vocabulary, listenability, and task fulfillment. To give you an idea about these, in content coherence, they will check you the number of ideas you give. If you only focus on one idea, it's going to affect the score. Okay, at least 2 to 3 ideas is important. And not only the ideas, but the quality of ideas is also important. When I say quality, means how well you can explain that idea, how well you can add some sentences to get a clear picture of what you wanted to say. Just not thrusting the idea, but explanation of that idea would be helpful. Of course, organization of ideas is important. That's how well you can organize, and you can use some kind of connectors to move from one idea to the other will also add up to your points. And yeah, supporting details and examples is what is needed. That increases the quality of ideas. In the vocabulary, of course, the word choices that you make, you can use a daily, you can use the casual language when you're talking to your friend or talking to your cousin or your close family members. But at times you also have to show some better words. Okay, if you can do that, it definitely exemplifies your score to a large extent, and you might get a better marks for your for your speaking segment. Of course, precision, accuracy, which means that how well you are you're putting the word in the right area and not just putting it anywhere, because to get a vocabulary score, you're not putting it anywhere, you're putting it in the right places because you know the meaning of that word, and that's what is your fitment of those words are in the right areas. What kind of range of words or phrases you're using, range of words, which means like in terms of what kind of alternatives you're giving. If you want to say the same word again and again, are you repeating it too many times, or are you giving some alternatives, or you come up with something different way of saying the words? Okay, so those are the range of words they're going to look at. What are the varieties you're going to put forward, phrases, idioms that you can use, to explain an idea. You can use those kinds of expressions. In the listenability, they're going to check your rhythm, pronunciation, intonation. So they expect your natural flow, not to be that you have mugged up a topic and you simply orate it. You will have to have a natural rhythm. So there can be slight pauses wherever needed, but not too much. Pronunciation has to be clear, because only when your words get captured by the computer can the listener or the examiner can able to evaluate you. So if you are not very clear, if you speak very meekly, or in a low voice, of course, it doesn't get recorded over the computer. So open your mouth. You don't have to shout, but you can be loud to speak the words that you wanted to say. And try to have an intonation. Don't speak in a one flat voice. Try to create those intonations, sometimes high pitch, sometimes low, and then again increasing. So that intonation, as I tell you, when I'm interacting with somebody, how do we speak? That's the thing that they want to look at in terms of your listenability. Pauses, interjections, but not too many. Like when you have lack of ideas, we use more of interjections, but that is where you need to reduce. You can't have too much of it. Okay. Grammar and sentence structure. Of course, grammar is very, very important. Grammar in the sense that not making too glaring mistakes. A few of them, like you missed an article or a plural, or you missed you said a wrong word, or you said a wrong conjunction or preposition, that's okay. But too many of it can affect, because when your grammar is incorrect, your sentence structure is wrong, and that again affects your coherence for somebody who is listening to your speech. Yeah, so everything falls apart if your basic grammatical formation of sentences are wrong. So you can make it more and more effective. The more you write, the more you speak English, it gets more stronger. Of course, listening and reading can help you to have an understanding of how these languages are spoken and written, and then you have to apply it. Unless you apply it, you don't get that clear understanding how grammatical aspects are to be maintained. Okay. Task fulfillment. Okay, variety of sentence structure. If you can come up with variety of sentence structure, like telling something in active voice and then passive, and using something like complex sentences or compound structures of sentences. Okay, so those can help you. So in that, you have to be so well prepared before exam that these can flow, because that point in time, you don't have so much think about complex and compound. But when you're preparing yourself at home, you must be listening to your own audio, listening to your own recording, and check, can I make it better? What else can I do it here? What can I add here? So that self-correction, that self-evaluation is going to help you in working in your grammatical aspects. Oh, I said this word doesn't fit here better. I should have used this one. So self-correction. Sentence structure, these can improve. Okay, so it's always good to have recording your, whatever you're practicing, record it, listen to it, and think how I can develop. Okay. Last part is task fulfillment. It will be relevant to context. The context talking something else and you went completely different direction. You went into a complete different world. You have to know you are in this topic. Okay, so be on the topic, don't drag the way in somewhere else, and try to complete. See, completeness is part of task fulfillment. So you have to complete the topic. You have to have a good checking on the time. You're not speaking to face somebody. It's only computer, timer is there. See the timer and try to complete. Tone is important. If you're talking to a friend, the tone has to be casual. If you're talking to a manager, tone has to be a little formal. So those things I think you all know, and keep that thinking. You have to be courteous, respectful when you're talking to your manager or seniors. Length, of course, please complete at least the given time. Suppose 60 seconds is given to you, 90 seconds is given to you, finish in 1 minute time. 90 seconds, you finish in 1 minute. Then it's definitely affecting your score. That means you have dearth of ideas, you could not explain, you could not elaborate the given topic. So try to speak for the length given to you, the length of time given to you. Okay, any questions on these areas?
One question here. Which of these tasks carry the most points? I see there are
that cannot be said, because everything the examiner will check from end to end, from content coherence to task fulfillment, every part. So you cannot say which one is more given importance.
I mean the 8 questions on top. You said we have 8 questions, okay, right? So which of those questions carry the most points?
I would say it's not like each of the questions will carry a more marks. They will give you score for each of the tasks. Maybe on a band of 12, okay, because that is not very clear as of now. They give you a score on band of 12 for each of it and then average it out.
Oh, okay.
So maybe in task 7 you did really well, while in task 4 you did miserably bad.
Okay.
Okay, so if task 7 is better or other tasks are better, then your score increases to about 9 and plus.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So each of the areas will be evaluated on the 4 dimensions. And out of 12 for task 1, how much you get, after task 2, how much you get, and they average it out.
Okay, got it.
Right, a few things to just explain before we start with task 1. Follow the instructions, and then there is prompt. Whatever topic is given, whatever information is given to you, you have to please read it carefully, get that understanding of the topic. Don't rush through it. I know you have less time, but at least devote 3 to 4 seconds of your time to read the question, what is being asked to you. Okay, so please have a clear idea. Have winning strategies for each task. Each task demands different abilities, I would say, because in task 1, it's slightly different, task 2 is different. So you must be able to, like in task 2, talks about experience that you had been through. So you have to use some past things. In task 1 is about giving an advice. So giving an advice of doing something which can help him in his future. So you'll have to use some kind of a present tense and some kind of a future. If you want to share your experience in that situation some years ago, then you have to use past. So depending on the topic, try to come up with how your sentences should be designed. Right. And try to complete sentences and use of examples. Some people, they don't complete the sentence. They just say the sentence and it seems to be half complete and jump into the next idea. That is not helpful. When I can complete the sentences means you have to say the idea clearly, and the idea is not, an idea can only be more clear to a listener when you give some examples, when you give some supporting reasons for it. Okay, so I feel purchasing a house in a city like Canada is quite expensive. The reason is, it is not only we have to pay a lot of land tax, and there is also a huge amount of money that needs to be funded for such kinds of projects. So I feel it is really unaffordable for many of us. Yeah, so I'm giving reasons for that. So the reasons has to be there to explain your views clearly, right? The thing is grammar, use of words and tenses must be appropriate as per the topic demands. Draw from your own life experience, yes. Because as I said you, the topics which are 1 to 6 are general lifestyle situations. You can able to draw from your own life. Even task 7, the examples that you can talk about can be from your own life experience that you have been through. Yeah, so we all have collected many things in our day-to-day life. We have understood things. We are facing so much things across the world. So if you are, I mean, I know you may have a lot of awareness, but in the exam conditions, you get completely jumbled to it. So that is what preparation will help you. The more you work on these, the more you try to practice speaking at home. And when you speak to your friends, if you can use more of English, can improve your fluency, communication, and pick up those serious topics and try speaking about it for a minute or so at home. Okay, like for example, you read something in a newspaper and you think about it and you summarize that information and speak about it. If you don't get anybody to speak about, speak to the mirror, record your voice and check, how can I say about this information? Yeah, there are ways of practicing. It's all about the more you communicate to anybody, be it to someone physically, or it can be to the mirror, to a wall, anything, okay? Put on the mic, put on the recorder, put on the timer, and start speaking on the given topic. Yeah. Any questions? I think you're feeling it's all very... Is it possible? Is it the thinking that going on in your minds? Is it possible or not possible? I think you all speak English in your workplace, in your real life, with your friends. The only thing is that here you get that feeling, that exam condition, that is only a difficulty level. Otherwise, you can have a smooth sail. Yeah, speaking is thought to be difficult, but it is not so. Actually, it is not so. You can get good score in speaking segment of CELPIP. Yeah, if you can understand the topic, if you can feel the topic, you get into it, you can even sail through. Okay, so speak clearly in natural pace. So as you speak naturally, do not create, do not be too fast, do not be too slow, of course, and do not rush through, because under nervousness, under the anxiety, we generally rush through. We should avoid doing it. Okay, we should be in a natural flow. We should try to speak. Avoid repeating the words again and again, which I said, that try to use alternatives, because that shows your vocabulary as well.
One small question, I forgot asking about this. Will everyone in the test center take the speaking test at the same time, or will it vary? Like, say I've completed, say there was reading before this, I've completed reading early. Will I be allowed to go to the speaking section next? Or
yeah, automatically the screen will take you. Now, if you see, they all have fixed time. Now, if you have completed in the fixed time, then everyone has to complete in the fixed time. If you complete early, then you will be taken to the speaking segment. So that was writing is the before speaking. So writing you complete a little early.
Okay.
They give you 26 minutes for writing task 2, and you finish in 24 minutes. So 2 minutes before you can enter speaking. That's
okay.
it.
Okay. So what is the order of the exam? What is the first one?
Listening, reading, writing, speaking.
Okay, so speaking section is the last one.
Last.
So if I gain time, I'll be able to do speaking earlier. The reason why I'm asking this is, when everyone else is taking the speaking test, there'll be a lot of noise. I believe that will be distracting, right?
But generally, they give you different topics. It's not that the examiner is next to you, is speaking the same topic as you are speaking.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the topic. I'm worried about a lot of noise. So,
I understand.
Yeah,
but there will be some way of, they will try not to be making it so very, like that they keep you apart from each other. So it won't affect the other examinees in the same center.
Okay.
And even if you reach fast, I would say, we always say that use the entire time for each and every task. Don't try to rush through, because if you think that I have to complete speaking in less, I mean, I can enter speaking in a less before time, it might affect your writing ability, which you should have checked it, which you could have made it better.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not point. Saving time one will not help you to the other, because again, in speaking, you will get that fixed time to work with. So whatever time is given, we suggest you to work entirely in that time for that particular task, and then move accordingly.
Got it.
So there is no worries that you will get affected by the other test examinees. Everyone will be set apart, and due to pandemic, it will be more done better and better way.
Because when I took TOEFL in 2015, I had this experience. So that's
TOEFL is actually is very close. The people sit. That's right.
Yeah, very close. So is CELPIP similar to TOEFL?
Well, in TOEFL, there is, and the modules are always similar to any of the English language exams that you're going to give. But in speaking, I don't think it is very similar to it.
Okay.
The topics in TOEFL are slightly more different. They give you, not in a general-based context.
Okay.
So managing time is effectively. So use the preparation time to understand the prompt, brainstorm the ideas, and organize what you want to say. So in 30 seconds time, which is generally given for preparation, please utilize it to the fullest. Don't get distracted what your other examiners are doing or what other people are doing. Focus and generate your ideas clearly with bullet points. Okay, you can't write too much, so you can put the bullet ideas and think about on the ideas what I can explain when the recorder starts. Speak confidently with a good flow, of course, needed. And there's no alternative to practice. So you have to practice hard, repeated practice, and listening to yourself. You can send your recordings to us also. We can evaluate and give you feedback. Okay, so that's also to be done. But you need to develop the strategy that every day I will have to speak at least on one given topic. Okay, that is only the way that you can improvise and develop yourself. Please listen to your recordings and understand where you're going wrong. What can be said in a better way, what idea, what kind of flow of idea I can create. Those things are important to understand. Okay, so in case you are speaking and you forget your ideas completely, you're completely gone blank, we'll come up with some examples. Okay, try to be strong, try to take charge of that moment and come up with something. Okay, don't create unnecessary pauses. Okay, you will have to manage within that, do something, create something, fall back on the ideas that you have generated and try to cover up those blank areas. Okay, don't keep that blank areas as such. Okay, so those things you must keep in mind. So this is all the areas that you need to concern about when you speak for any given topic. Coming to task 1, which is giving an advice. Here, they give you a variety of situations. For example, your friend wants to go somewhere or purchase something or choose to do something or looking for a career option or opting for higher study or make a decision and so on. So that your friend, it can be your cousin, it can be your subordinate or your colleague who is looking for some kind of an advice. He got a better opportunity in some other organization or overseas, and he's contemplating whether he will travel to that country or he will stay back with his family. Okay, so you have to advise for that matter. So in this situation, you will have to, you need to help your friend by giving your advice. And with your, of course, with your experience, with your understanding of the topic, you have to give some advice and come up with at least 2 to 3 ideas, as I'm saying again and again, and then explain those ideas with some examples. Okay, we'll do this right now. You'll have to speak for 90 seconds and 30 seconds is the preparation time. Okay, so let's do this now.
Madam, in the first page, right, I seen one saying that it may vary from 1.5 to 3 minutes. What is that? Audio playing time is not included in listening session. It may vary from 1.5 to 3 minutes.
Where?
The first document. This is the second document. The first document which you have shown, right? The CELPIP exam
15 to 20
flow.
minutes. 15 to 20.
No,
This one?
no, madam. The first document.
This is the first.
No, the first document which contains
I think he's
listening,
asking
reading,
about the
writing.
listening.
Okay. Yeah, tell me.
No, madam. When you open that one document, right, which contains the
One
listening,
second.
reading, writing, and speaking. Yeah, this one. When you scroll down, completely, it is written here. The listening section. Oh, okay.
Listening section is listening.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought it's a speaking. Okay.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, fine, Prasad. No issues. Yeah, so we'll start with the speaking one.
Sunil actually asked. Yeah.
Okay. No, Prasad actually said that he has some work, so he is dropping off. That's why. Yeah. So speaking task one is giving advice. And here, as you can see, there are 4 different topics given to you. Only one will come, of course. They're given for your practice. So only one will be coming to you in your real exam, and you will have to explain that topic in your own words, giving the advice to the friend, understand the topic. Topics are given, and as I said, your general context is not a very difficult one. So if you see the first topic given to you, a friend would like to lose some weight, but he doesn't have much free time. Advise him about different things he can do to achieve his goal. Okay, a friend would like to lose some weight, which is very common. Most of your friends say that I want to lose weight, I'm getting lumpy, I'm getting heavy, but doesn't have much free time. You have to advise him about different things he can do to achieve his goal. And topic is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So in 30 seconds, what we will do, to come up with ideas. Ideas like, what are the ways your friend can lose weight, which does not involve too much of time. Right? Am I audible? Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to come up with some ideas on what ways the friend must lose weight without involving too much of time. So what we can suggest, just think about it.
Follow some diet, which he doesn't need to go out of the way.
Okay, for some diet. So in this, okay, if I have to little bit protrude on these ideas, what are the other things that I can think? I mean, diet means, what do you want to talk about today? Explain this idea.
Yeah, having less carbs or fatty foods, switching to proteins instead.
Yeah. Having less carbs, fried food, yeah.
And switching to proteins. Or while he's on phone with someone, instead of sitting down and talking, he could rather walk during conversation over phone.
Okay. While on phone, instead of sitting, he can walk.
Yeah. I think that's the 2 that I have.
That the other one is like in office, instead of using the elevator, you can use the staircase. If it is 3rd floor, not sure if the ground floor also is cabin maybe.
Yeah, any other ideas that you think?
Use
a bicycle.
less.
Yeah. Use a bicycle or something instead of using
personal car and private cars.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a few ideas. Pallavi, any idea from your end? You want to suggest something? Okay, so diet, try to not sit at one place and walk while you're on phone. Instead of using elevator, can use staircase, bicycle should be taken instead of using private vehicles. Now you will have to tell this to your friend that you can do these things and explain each point a little bit more clearly, because you have to speak for 90 seconds of time. So you have to group these ideas and try to move from one idea to the other with a flow in your speech. Do you like to try first as how you can share your advice to your friend who is thinking of losing a weight? Okay.
Another point we can add,
Firstly,
like in the office, instead of sitting and working, you can stand and work, because there sometimes the desk is like the laptops can be.
yeah, so it's like avoid a sedentary lifestyle.
Instead of continuously sitting for 3 hours or 4 hours, you can stand and work.
Long. Yeah.
Bhuvaneshwar got good ideas.
Right. Yeah, so there are the ideas that we have. The point is that how we're going to talk about it. Now, when you talk about your friend, of course, you will not say, hi, first you open up with a very simple way, as if you're talking over a phone to your friend, or he's in front of you, he or she is in front of you, and you are giving a hi, hello. And then will you say, I would like to give you advice on losing weight?
No,
this way?
I'll say, I think, or I think, or and I believe this is the better way, instead of telling, I would like to advise you on this.
So I would say that I heard, or I learned that you are planning to lose weight. In recent times, you really have put on too much kilos. Okay, so the weight word we can't use too often. So weight can be, say, you have put on pounds, you have put on too much kilos, you have become slightly plumpy. So alternatives, if we can use to explain, because that might help you. Every time if I use weight, if I can use weight, but spread it out. Don't make it too much repetitive in your speech.
Okay.
Yeah? So anybody would like to try as how you would explain your friend about the ways of losing weight?
I'll give it a try. So I'll just start by speaking. So, hey, I understand you've put on a lot of weight in recent times, and I think it's time for you to shed some down. So I have some advice to give. I think my personal choice is to follow some diet, which is easier because you will only have to switch your meals, which doesn't take a lot of time. So instead of having high carbs food in the night, you rather switch to proteins, which is good for your muscles, and it's easier to digest. And the other thing that I do often is, while I'm on phone talking to someone, I would rather walk, and instead of staying in the same place, which helps me. It doesn't let me tired out real quick. I focus on phone, so this doesn't feel really heavy. And then I also use staircase to in my office instead of using an elevator, which although it's not really I don't use it often, I think it still helps me stay fit. And I travel. I think there's another thing that I do quite a lot, to go to grocery stores, or even to office. I choose to go by walk or by my bicycle instead of using a car, which has helped me keep my metabolism and reduce a lot of fat in recent times. I think this has helped me. I think following this will help you as well.
Good. Yeah. So you could have, but the point is a little bit more, I would say, you're moving from one idea to the next because ideas are given. Well, you can connect these two ideas together, that especially.
Yeah, I noticed that switch, which was not really good. I could feel that, but I just had to go with the flow. I know that there was no connection somewhere. I missed the connection somewhere.
And even these two can be connected together, actually.
Right.
So instead of sitting for a walk and taking a phone, and also not sitting at a desk for too long, although I know it's a desk job you're having, but you should be trying to unwind yourself after every half an hour or so. Take a small walk, and then go to the coffee machine, take some coffee, and then again come back and
right.
that will help you to get more flexible. Yeah. So yeah, Sunil, you want to try?
Yes, madam. And do we need to use any names, madam? Like hi, Joseph.
Yeah, please use, because you're addressing it to your friend, so he has a name. So you're just meeting him either face to face or telephonic conversation you're having. So first say the name and give a hi so and so, and then start with the topic.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Joseph. Hope you are doing good. I noticed that you are seeking help regarding to lose the weight that you put up on the recent days. So I have certain ideas to make this fit. So one of my neighbor had a similar problem. So he was having controlling the diet. He said that to have he switched out to proteins. Earlier he was having a lot of carbohydrates and kind of fried foods, so which was making him kind of fatty kind of thing. So there are a couple of other few tips which really helps you to lose your weight. For example, like when you're on the phone for longer hours. I understand that your work insists you to be on phone for almost like hours together, 1 hour, 2 hours. So that is a business work that you do in a daily basis. So instead of sitting at one place, I prefer that you can stand, like you can walk and like stand on the place, and you like focus on the calls rather than sitting, and unless until it is most required. So other thing is that in case if you are going to office, then and you feel like even if it is not required also, when like it is good that you actually use your elevator so that you can becomes like you can be fit with the kind of the muscular exercise. And most important is that try to reduce the automobile, try to use the bicycle. I know that Monday to Friday it is little difficult, that you have a little difficult that using the bicycle, but at least on Saturday, Sunday, the weekends, you can use a bicycle to go to the markets and have your life. Yeah. So this all helps you to please let us know.
Check the timer. Actually, I think it's a little bit going beyond time. I haven't checked the timer, but try to see that you're fitting the things within time. If the time is getting close to about, say, 3 minutes, or I mean, only 3 seconds are left, not 3 minutes, 3 seconds are left, then please try to wind up and say, I hope these advice would be helpful to you and you were able to work on the same. Thanks and bye. Okay, so completeness is what I'm looking for. So just check the time. First, we didn't work in time today, but we will have to do it in the next few sessions. Okay.
Madam, here the point is, do we have a standard opening statement, closing statement?
Yes, I will share. I will tell you how we do it. So let's if I do not have it also, how we can do it is that the template will give you some guidelines, of course, some sentences that you can use for your task one, which can be helpful, but don't stick to it. You can create your own way as well. Yeah, it's about natural speaking that helps more. So template can give you some ideas or glances, but then you have to develop your own ways of speaking, right? I'll share it. So if this topic is given to us, we can say as you said, hi Mark, hope you're doing well. I just got to know that you are planning to lose weight. I understand in the last few weeks you have really put on a lot amount of kilos around the, and it's a kind of belly fat, I feel. What I suggest to you is that don't take it too stressed on this. There are ways of doing it, and in a very less time, you can do much more activities. You can try going for a morning walk. Okay, that might help you to reduce your weight, because it will also keep you fresh and feel good in the morning. So just rise half an hour early before the regular time, and you can go for the walk in the community park nearby. That will give you a lot of freshness. Apart from that, I would suggest that since your office is also a few blocks away from your residence, you could just take your bicycle and ride to that instead of, or you can walk, okay? Because I feel that will help you a lot. Instead of using a private vehicle and then parking and all these things, bicycle can give you a lot of good amount of energy. It will also reduce your fat regarding those areas where you have added on. Apart from that, shedding kilos can also be helpful if you have a balanced diet, which have more of proteins and fresh juice rather than having carbohydrates or say fats. Yeah. And you won't believe, a few days back, even I had the same issues. I was having this kind of a problem, but with following a proper, maintaining a balanced lifestyle, I could able to do much well to myself. And I think this will also work for you. Let me know. Looking forward to hear from you. Bye. Yeah, so yeah, this is where we'll have to look forward. I wanted to talk something more, but then I realized that my timing is winding up. So I then tried to cut short it. And I just wanted to say that I had this problem before, then I have a balanced lifestyle. I had followed a routine, this thing, which had helped me. So I couldn't, I wanted to use this elevator, but then time was not there. Yeah, so those things you will have to check back. I'm on the timer.
Got it.
Okay. So altogether in this topic, giving advisements, for example, somebody is coming to us, how to overcome this problem.
Correct. Simple
so
problem.
We are giving solution. Simple problem. We are giving solution to the problem.
Yes. Maybe he is not able to decide what to do. Okay, like whether you want to take up a job. I mean, he got a new opportunity overseas. So he's thinking whether I should leave my family and go there and stay in a new country, new place. What is the cost? How will be difficult it be, or how it will enrich him? He's a little bit uncertain about it. So he's looking for advice from you. Okay. A friend wants to work in a particular organization and he has 2 offers. Both are in the best of the organization. He doesn't know which one to go for. Again, you have to suggest which one he can take it up, what he can evaluate to take up that job, which will help him not only developing his skills, but also his knowledge and his experience.
Even in these, I have to stick to one single point, right? Just like the agree, disagree, I should say, hey, this is what you should be picking. Although that is,
in case they're giving you 2 jobs, no, you don't have to talk about that. You have to tell him that you have to see which jobs give you more enrichment, which jobs give you more. So you have to talk about both the jobs, because this person is not able to decide whether he wants to take this offer or that offer. So you have to see that what is the monetary benefit, what are the other remunerations or perks you're getting it, what are other supporting, what is the work timings and the flexibility you have or not. So you have to say that which one is suiting you. You have to decide, because this person has to decide. You're just giving him the ideas on what lines he can decide.
Okay, so we can just give him, these are the ones that you should probably
exactly. These are the lines that you need to decide. On this, you think which this offer is better or this offer is better.
Okay. So I mean, I don't need to make a decision for him.
No, you don't make a decision for him. No, correct.
Got it. Okay.
You're just giving him some ideas on which he can evaluate his decision.
Okay. Got it.
So we should not insist him.
Correct. You should not insist it. I hope it will be helpful. I hope it will make some difference in your life. But I can't say that you must do it.
Oh.
Okay, you're not putting a decision to him. You're giving him some advice. Okay, you take advice from your parents. It's not like they're enforcing it on you. If you think it is right, you will follow it that way. No enforcement has to be done.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have the template for your part 1 or task 1, giving advice, and it starts like, hi Kate, how are you? I have got to know these lines you can use. I have learned that you're looking to lose weight, that was the topic, or looking for a good movie to watch, a different topic for that matter. Since I was in the same situation not so long ago, I thought I could give you an advice. If you feel you can able to speak it without, but this sentence when you to speak, you should have your own natural way. If you say it in a very, in a one flow, it doesn't create that. Since I was in a situation not so long ago, I thought I could give you some advice. So you should use your own intonation. If you say it in a one flat voice, it seems to be a mugged up sentence. Okay, so if you are using the template sentence, it should have your own natural rhythm. I strongly recommend that you go on for intermittent fasting, take protein shake instead of breakfast and supper, choose to study in non-local places. The first point is, firstly, I strongly recommend you. You can say firstly, or you can simply say, I strongly recommend you this. By doing this and explaining this point, how it can make difference to his life. By doing this, I'm sure you will be able to cut on calorie intake, or if you're going to a new country, you'll experience new cultures. Secondly, I would advise you to, okay, you can say in addition to that, moreover, all the alternatives you can use. And you can say, I would advise you to have short but intense workout. Maybe take a quick jog or have a walk, take a walk in the morning. That can help you. You don't have to wake too early. You can just wake half an hour before and you can just go for the walk in the nearby park. That way you can say. Last but not the least, or lastly, you may even consider cycling or walking, which you all said, to the office, or have some fat burning pills. Okay, but those can be dangerous. You can even say those can be dangerous, but it can give you, you can reduce your fat in very less time. You know, that way you can just suggest him. If he wants, he can take it. This not only helps you to shed some pounds, This is a nice line. Shed some pounds is a good phrase, but also make you environmental friendly. So using a cycling or going for a walking will not only help you to shed some pounds or reduce the fat near the belly area, or will increase your, somebody said metabolism. That's a nice thing. Improve your metabolism, metabolic activities. That's words you can use. That's nice. And makes you environmental friendly. I hope I was helpful for you. I hope you will find my advice useful. Don't hesitate to call me for more help. Bye and take care. Okay, so these 2 lines you will have to add on in the last 3 to 4 seconds that you have. You need to use all these lines. Got it?
Madam, a question here. So a query here. So in IELTS, we have a standard format. The standard format. So in CELPIP also, do we have a standard format, or like they look for this
kind?
Can
you tell me what about IELTS?
For example, like dear madam, and thank you sincerely. So that is kind of starting sentence and the last sentence. So opening sentence and the close, letter writing. So here, when we talk about the speaking, right? Speaking also, technically there is any standard statements, or as per the flow we can close the statement?
Yeah, as per the flow you can close, but generally for like these kinds, or when you are helping somebody in a problem, you can say, let me know how it went through. Don't hesitate to call me whenever you need help. And this way you can close it down. Okay, it's not a fixed.
The reason I asked is, I'm sorry, madam. The reason I asked is, like we said, like we discussed, right? Not to mug up. In case that time I forget, I should not be tense, right? I should not be tense. So I should use my own sequence to close the things. That's
so it's not fixed. There's no fixed words that you have to do it, but try to use a closure. Okay, I hope this advice would be quite helpful for you and reduce your unwanted fat. Let me know if you need any further help that way, or make your own sentence. But try to give a closure sentence which tells the examiner that, okay, now you're closing it down. Okay, so when you see your 3 to 4 seconds left on the timer, forget about any other ideas, say your closure sentence. Okay, it's not fixed. You can use your own ways also, your own sentence as well. But you have to make the statement seem to look like a closure sentence. Okay. Am I clear, Sunil?
Yeah, it is clear.
Okay, so some ways of advising is that I think you can. The word, what I'm trying to say here, the language. I think you can. I think you should try. Okay, I think you should try switching to a vegan diet. Okay, having more vegetables and raw vegetables in the form of salads can help you to reduce your weight. I believe switching to a vegan diet could help. The same sentence, I'm saying a different way. I believe, I think you can, I think you should try, or I believe switching to a vegan diet could be more helpful. Another tip that really works is another way. It's another idea you're talking about. You're talking about your diet, talking about his diet. You can say you can have more of carbohydrates and less of carbohydrates and fried foods and more of proteins. Another tip that really works is to switching to a vegan diet. This way you can say. You need to, or you will have to, as a matter of advice, because your friend is looking for, which he will follow, which he will take it. So it will matter to him. It will affect him. So you need to do this. You will have to, or you would want to look at your diet. You want to have a quick check on your diet. Okay, so we're just suggesting him. Rest, if he wants, he will follow. Otherwise, it's up to him. We're just asking, we're just giving the advice, which is a kind of a suggestion we are making. And then if he falls for it, if he stick to it, he can follow the suit. Okay. So this is about your task 1. And I mean, if you are attending tomorrow's class, I'm going to give you a small homework for you to prepare, and I want to listen to you tomorrow. Just prepare yourself in terms of, don't give too much time, speak for 1.5 minutes, 30 seconds preparation you must give, and try the same topic again and again, at least twice if you can manage to speak in the day's time. And tomorrow I want to hear about the 4th topic. It's a very simple topic which you might have faced when you were at this position. Your friend is going to university next year. She is not sure whether to study in another city or live at home and go to the local university. Give her advice about which choice she should make, okay, or which choice would be more effective for her. Okay, you're not deciding for her, you're just suggesting her which can be more helpful for her, staying at local university or going to another city to study. Okay, the city can be foreign country, or city can be apart from your hometown. It can be any other city as well. So whichever way you want to decide, you can pick up. You can pick up like any other metropolis where the student can go and study, or it can be for universities in a different city for that matter. Different city can't be, it's not, it doesn't say anything whether it's in your home country or outside your home country. You can pick up any of it. Okay. So can you work on this at least if you are attending Bhubaneswar, you are Bhubanesh, right?
Yes.
Bhubanesh. Yeah. So if you can work on this, but practice with the fixed time. I would not like you to work more it. 30 seconds preparation, 1.5 minutes speak, record, check. Again, after a few interval, say about 3 to 4 hours, again, if you can manage to speak. Okay, we'll see there's a difference between how you speak in both the segments.
Sure.
And tomorrow I would like to listen to you before we move to task 2.